Hi everyone, my name is Mark Needham. I am the EMEA Hybrid Work Leader at Cisco. What we're going to talk about today is a bit about the critical role of personas when it comes to planning your hybrid work strategy. The catalyst for this session was a question that came up during the live session we ran 2 weeks ago with Shaker Talks, but we did not have time to address this topic live. So when we think about what a hybrid work solution needs to provide to an organization, flexibility is the key element there. It's about how you can adapt to any work style, any role, and any environment. Additionally, we see huge value in the solution being inclusive and breaking down barriers, how it can be supportive and prioritizing employees' well-being. Obviously, it has to be secure and it has to be able to be managed with scale across the entire workforce. But really what we're going to talk about today is the first one here, the flexibility, and the role of personas is really key to that. So if you take an example of Cisco, so we look at work styles v worker types, and there's three broad categories. On the far right, we talk about a concentrator. So these are people where the bulk of their focus is solo, head down work in nature. Maybe 10% of their time is spent actively participating in real-time collaboration. Then we have communicators. These are people who are still heavy phone users, but they also spend an increasing amount of time actively collaborating in real time, maybe upwards to around 40% of their day. Then on the left, we have the collaborators. These are the people that are collaborating actively in real time, day in, day out, for the bulk of their roles. What we then have on the right hand side is the worker type, office resident, hybrid, or fully remote. So when we talk about an office resident, we do have people within Cisco, even in the hybrid working world, where they go into an office day in, day out. That could relate to the specifics of their particular role. It may relate to their personal preference, but that's okay. What we also have are workers that are fully remote. We wanted to get the best IP into the organization, but for whatever reason, they're not able to attend an office with regularity. And then you have the hybrid worker, which is the bulk of the workforce that spends some time at home, some time in the office, and sometimes in between. And what's populated in the middle here is just some examples within Cisco of how we'd categorize some of our workers. Every organization is slightly different. You may have different roles in these buckets. You may also see a different percentage split when it comes to how collaborative people's roles are to help drive them into these buckets. So why does this matrix matter? Why does this work style we worker type? Why do we need to think about it? Well, really it relates to the technology and the solutions these workers need to be able to do their full job from any location. So what is uniform is a single consistent software experience where you can allow to work together every single part of your organization, not just to do meetings, but to do every aspect of their job. They need persistent messaging, co-creation, calling, teaming, document sharing, and that all has to be done with the highest level of security. But it's not just about workers within your organization. You also need to have the same rich autonomous capabilities when working with people outside of your organization. And that is something which gets a lot trickier depending on what solution is you choose to use. Other key element here is to think about your lines of business, your applications. So if you take contact center as an example, they need this full rich collaborative experience to work in a hybrid fashion and maintain those relationships with your customers that are so important. And also you need to look at the other technologies that you use, your line of business apps. So we talk about bi-directional integrations. You could bring those apps into the Webex UI and that's perfectly fine. You could take the Webex features and put it into the UI of those apps and that's also fine. But this kind of autonomous experience is the table stakes, which supports those personas and a worker style v worker type that I touched on there. Where you do start seeing distinctions is where it comes to the hardware the various roles need. So if we start talking about the concentrator first, equally, this actual setup would apply to somebody that is highly mobile. They need privacy. They need centrally managed enterprise-grade business headsets that do speech actualization and do sound deafening. Really important. And then they also need integrated software experience that's on whatever device they use. If they live on a laptop, it's on there. If they're out and about, be it on a tablet, your mobile phone, you've got the access to every tool you need to be able to do your job to the best abilities. Then we think about the communicator. This setup here could also apply to a hot desk environment in an office as well. So there are some commonalities. You still need that audio privacy. You still need that integration. So in this scenario here, all the tools this worker's using are on the phone, and that is docked into the desk hub, which brings the workstation to life. Because 98% of meetings moving forwards are going to have remote participants, the importance of being visible and on video cannot be underplayed, and that's shown here. And also you need to think about how you can make any desk, any environment, an ergonomic desk, which has well-being at the heart of it. And that's what this kind of toolkit of the enterprise grade headset, the enterprise grade camera, and the desk hub allows you to do. And when used in an office environment, the desk hub is your availability tool. This is what you use to book the desk, subject to decisions you make around ad hoc v bookable assets. Now, for the collaborator, they need a slightly different experience. They need an enterprise grade, dedicated video device. So why is that? Well, firstly, obviously it needs to be visible. They're in meetings day in, day out. You need to be able to see their body language. You need to be comfortable. They need to not feel that fatigue which some people get if they spend their entire day hunched over a laptop on a poor soft client experience. The integrations are all built into the device as well. So all my meetings information, my whiteboards, my files, everything I need to collaborate is integrated here. And also the role of well-being, again, is so important. This supports sit-stand environments, but also just that more natural position when you're in a meeting rather than being hunched over a laptop like that. And finally, this is also a schedulable, bookable asset if you have it in a jump room, a huddle space, or even in desks within your offices. Now, the thing to think about is, well, I've spoken initially here about knowledge workers and the core personas we talk about within Cisco, but knowledge workers only actually make up 20% of the workforce. 80% of the global workforce are frontline workers, and they also need their own flavour of a hybrid work experience where they can escalate to remote experts. People can join them via video calls, they can annotate in real time, and they can see the content being amended on the wearables that they're wearing. And here we've got hospitals, factories, manufacturing, oil rigs, a whole range of scenarios. But you need to think about this persona as well, because quite a lot of the people they're going to be working with will be working in a hybrid fashion. And you want to still be able to minimize that risk, accelerate decision making without breaking the kind of natural workflow that maybe you've experienced in the past. So it's quite a big topic. I just wanted to give you a bit of a deeper dive based on a question from a session a couple of weeks ago. You can go deeper with the Shaker Academy and they can help you build these personas, or at least help you with some questions to start identifying what they are. If you want to go deeper into the actual technology side of things, so we have our annual event, Webex 1, at the end of October. You can go online and register. It's totally free. And then you can go deeper into any of the technologies that I've spoken about today. With that, thank you for listening to this video, this add-on to the live session from 2 weeks ago. And please feel free to reach out where you have any questions. Thank you.